going on, guys? Rains's bringing another video. We're in a normal build video spot, so that's what that means. So we're going to bring a Stormbringer build video this time. Instead of a Mag DK, it's a decent change. It's what I've mained for a long time before this. But ever since Kyleo's top 5 Stormbringer in a video, I figured I'd knock the dust off this thing and make a new build for the Murkmire patch for Stormbringer. And this is what I come up with. This is the first time I've ever ran heavy Stormbringer because, you know, rally is just so ideal because healing on Stormbringer sucks. But I made a few adjustments to this build because I've never ran a heavy build, and I'm not running rally because shuffle sucks this patch. Like, there's no dodge chance, and they decreased the snare immunity of it to 0.5 seconds per piece instead of whatever, so I'm going to be running for momentum instead. But we'll go ahead and hop into the video. This is what I'm running. I'm actually running 5 Champion of the Hist. Now this is a new set that came out for a Murkmire. I usually run double dot poisons here. Let's see. So this is one of the new sets that came out for Murkmire patch. And what it does is it's like one of the only few heavy sets that give stam and weapon damage. But another reason I ran this, other than the max stam, is because you gain minor heroism. And with Stormbringer, like, majority of your burst damage comes from, you know, Dawnbreaker or your back bar ult. But since we don't have overload anymore and the overload utility in the back bar, we're not running overload on the back bar, and I'll explain that later in the video. But I'll go ahead and speed up this. You know, you guys can slow it down later, just like my previous videos, and just take a look at the gear, the enchants. You know, all that's gonna change for each individual person. But this is, like, I had to mid-max because I didn't have, I tried the same build in medium, and I hated it. I mean, I absolutely fucking hated it. And I switched it over to heavy, but I had to change some pieces around instead of, like, running hulking 2H and sword and board. So I ended up switching the jewelry around, you know, so I can have 2 mid-max pieces for medium. I'm using Troll King Head and Shoulders. 3 body pieces of Champion of the Hist. Now this gear set, it's actually easy to get a hold of, and you can get the good traits like Impin. I just bought it in the store. Like, this whole set, weapons and all included, costed me about maybe 60k. And you can shop around. I'm sure you can find a better deal. The whole can you get out of Direfrost Keep. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys know that. Let's hop into the buff stats. Now this is without continuous or the M buff or anything. This is going to be the back bar. Shortly after I show these stats, I'll actually put a picture in right after this and show what the stats look like with Troll King proc and whatever. So that I'm going to insert the buff stat sheets for front bar and back bar right now. And then we can move on to the CP, which is, like I said, you guys can speed up or slow it down if you need to. Everybody's CP is different, but I switched a few things around. Where we're not using rally, excuse me. We're not using rally and using heavy. Heavy gives a lot of health regen. Plus, we're an orc too, so we get a lot of natural health recovery. So. But the main reason I have so many in this is for wind running, because where they nerf speed pots, you just feel so slow. And one of the main bonuses of being a Stormbringer, you know, obviously is being fast. So I'm not even running speed pots anymore. I actually switched my Mundus, and but anyway, we'll go ahead and finish this CP, and I'll explain that later when we get to everything else. Now, we are an orc, you know, obviously, I'm not sure if you're aware of what the orc passives are. I'm not going to try to drag this out. So, the orc passives is, I mean, you get all of this right here, but the main thing is you get extra speed, you get extra damage from, like, physical damage abilities, which is, you know, what Stormbringer mains in. You get health recovery by 20%. Plus all that in the CP and Troll King. in the thumbnail you guys seen that it has 5K, and like in the screenshots that I linked right to the buff video, you seen that it was 4671, so rounded to 5K. But the fully buffed stat sheet is with a continuous, and you know, without imp obviously. But I actually switched to the steed, and that's again because of the speed nerf, and you get an extra 10% and health recovery by 238, so that like complements everything. Now before I made this build, I actually ran the tower for my other build, and you could still run the tower, but I mean, if you don't have a problem with being a little bit slower, the steed, I mean, you can go back to the tower. If you're struggling with resources, you can always run the recovery boon. Now here's the skill layout. I ended up changing some things around. So I used to run bound ornaments on both bars, but where we don't have overload anymore, we lose a lot of utility, so I can't do that anymore. So just for the extra speed, I've been using channeled acceleration, and it's a big difference because you get the speed, plus you get the passives where, you know, you can passively block, which helps all the sort passives in like when you block an ability, it costs less or whatever. Plus you get that shield, and it just makes you a little bit more tanky. But the main reason I'm running this is for the speed and the minor force for 36 seconds. That's a big difference, especially with Stam Sword, because you hit hard anyway. Like I said, you can switch abilities around if you don't feel comfortable here. You can always run, you know, a sword and board ability here. I wouldn't advise using low slash because we're using that one 5-piece armor set. You already get minor heroism, so I'd probably just run ransack for the extra physical pin and stuff. You can always run like master bow, like if you're comfortable with a master's bow setup, like you just won't have the minor heroism armor set on the back bar. You could where is it? Let's see. Like you could always run the master's bow here on the back bar instead of sword and board. I just prefer sword and board because it makes you a little bit more tanky, and I just don't have the bar slot for poison eject. Now a lot of people, you guys are probably asking why in the world am I running summon Atronach, and that's because of the passive and Daedric summoning that gives you the 20% where we're not using bound armaments anymore, so you can maintain that 20% stam and health recovery in the back bar too. But another main reason is because people underestimate this Atronach. Like, this thing is actually pretty OP. I mean, especially when you're getting Zerg down, like you can hide or kite under it, and plus if you're in group play, I mean, they can activate the synergy, and everybody, whoever has to activates that synergy, you get major berserk for 8 seconds, and that's 25% extra damage, plus the AoE damage too. It's actually really, really good. Now they made some changes to Dark Deal, excuse me, this patch, and I don't know, I kind of like it better now. Like, you get that little bit extra sustain. Like, that extra sustain, like, it doesn't sound like it's a lot, but 2k over 20 seconds, I mean, that's an extra 200 recovery, plus the heavy passives and, you know, pot sustain. And then here is the front bar setup, which is like the classic, you know, sword and board and 2H stam sword setup, except for bound armaments for the recovery and, you know, the max stam and stuff. Something I forgot to mention was that I'm actually running the Artaeum Takeaway Broth. I just think it's best in slot. I mean, it's better than, you know, Dubious, but if you can't afford the Artaeum Takeaway, because that stuff is pretty expensive, you could always run Dubious. If you feel like you have a lot of extra sustain, you know, you could always run more max and, you know, run Longfin Pasties, and then that can give you quite a little bit extra stats, like to run streak and stuff. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. You lose a lot of recovery though. But I'd like to say thank you to you guys over, you know, all the subs that we've got in the past little bit. And on the note of Leo's video, the top 5 Stam Sword NA, I personally don't think I should have got #1 place. There's a lot of good Stam Swords out there, Leo included, and almost everybody in his top 5 list are really good players. And I'm trying to be modest when I say this. I'm a decent Stam Sword, but I just don't think I deserve top 1. But I'm glad I got it. I'm not bitching. I mean, I feel famous, I guess you could say. But I appreciate everybody that's sticking around, even though majority of my content's going to be blackout and stuff. And like I said, I'm enjoying this damn sword. It's really tanky. It does a shit ton of damage. You have really good sustain, especially in heavy. You know, I was really wary of it to begin with because I've never ran it without rally. And honestly, with so much health recovery, I don't struggle with healing at all. I actually feel like I'm tankier than I was before with rally. But I've actually been enjoying ESO for a change, mainly because I've been doing BGs and I'm not lagging my balls off. And I don't know, here in open world for the past day or two, it actually hasn't been that laggy. So like, I've actually been enjoying it. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about the build. If you guys have any questions, you know, you're always welcome to put in the comment section. I'll help you guys any way I can. You guys know that. So just let me know what you think about the video, and I'll put some gameplay shortly after this and of the build in the past 2 days. Like, it's nothing special, but I mean, it just gives you an ideal. And I'm still kind of trying to adjust to heavy stand sword. It's a big difference, and it's working well, and I'm enjoying it. But that'll wrap the video, guys. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and watching the build, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
You don't give a damn about what I do. You think you're the coolest.